Hello everyone. How's it going? Let me know if this audio is coming across well or not. Remember we had to do a little bit of mess around last time. And I probably could make a few improvements to it this time around. Let's see. Maybe I'll try that from the start. Let's check out these settings, see if I can change anything up at all. Just out of curiosity, how is that? Did that make things any better or any worse? Just out of curiosity. Isn't it fun not knowing how things are going to work out? And I mean that. It's always an adventure. You never know what you're going to get. I'll be back in just a few seconds here. Where's Dumpling? Oh yeah, I was gonna test something out with that. Should I do it now? I mean, this is kind of a test stream, like I mentioned, so there's no strict schedule on when we should start up playing whatever we're gonna be testing out. So I could try to see if I can get what I want to working. Might take a couple minutes though. So in the meantime, what do you guys have to talk about? Anything new with you all? I'm going to discuss a couple of things. One main thing, if you've been wondering where Mike Money is lately, I'll be mentioning something I planned with him in just a few minutes here. I wonder if I could do this while streaming. Probably, right? Actually, hold on. I'm gonna go down to Dumpling Gym and do something first. yourselves amused at these times. So I have what's downstairs set up. The mission stall I've downloaded here. I accept your agreement without reading it. Oh, jeez, the music. I probably will have to use some kind of alternate way of playing the songs. Don't know why it has as much problem as it does. It's using the OBS's VLC video source. It's just like very stuttery. Let's see. So what did I miss? What did you guys talk about here? Oh, do you currently have the COVID as well, Nanotrites? Hopefully you get better soon. Isabel is working on art commissions. Oh. What kind of art commissions, if you don't mind me asking? Or if it's something you'd rather not say, please don't feel pressed to. I've known some people who've been into some pretty weird things when it comes to those art commissions. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything more about that. I have to register all my information, do I, with this? Okay, great. Annoying. The funny thing is I've done this before on other computers, but I guess they want to know each and every time. Oh, okay, so you don't have it right now, you just mean the situation in general? You had it twice prior, almost a third time from family members being helpful. It's funny, I have an aunt who just got it again for, I guess it was the third time, I want to say. It's an interesting subject, but I'm not really sure of how much I can actually talk about it on stream if YouTube will ever just get annoyed at me for bringing it up in the first place. Otherwise, I would talk about how my experience with it was, which wasn't really all that bad. But yeah, I guess it's usually family members probably will most likely get it from. That's kind of true for anything, though. That or work, I suppose. School, maybe. What am I looking for? Oh, it's not showing up in here. Okay, let me... I think it's this one. For this program, there's like... What is this? There's like 12 different options here. Oh, and I accidentally clicked it a bunch of times, so it opened up 3 times. No. Didn't want that. See, the thing is, I want to capture the webcam, but it's not showing the webcam in here. Maybe I can do it like this? That's useless. What the hell? Let me go back in. Try to connect to my computer remotely. I was always curious what effect it's going to have on the stream, if any. Doesn't seem to be affecting it at all right now. Let me close this on here. Capture settings. I really just want to capture the webcam itself. Which, if I can do that, pretty much all set here. No, the only option it really gives me though is for the whole screen itself, which I could potentially do, I guess. I'm just confused because it's supposed to be an option for it specifically. And I thought I've seen it before when doing this. There's an NDI for VLC as well. Add NDI video over IP to play out options. Well, I'm not sure how that works out. Yeah, if you have stuff like asthma, I guess it does make it a lot more difficult. What about this option? Let's just try this one. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should try resetting it on my other computer. Maybe that'll kickstart something to work. Hey, Vertigo, how are things going with you? One funny thing that happened was I got a comment on the other stream I did where I was testing out PC settings, and there was someone who wanted me to test out doing 8K videos, but I've never really had an 8K monitor, so I have no idea. Well, there are ways to do it with video scaling in some games, but I don't think it'd really benefit me because I don't really see any difference in 8K. For 4K itself, you have to kind of get up right, like a foot away from the screen to really appreciate it. With 8K, I don't know, you have to be like, have your nose against your screen to see it. Yeah, that's the funny thing for me as well, Vertigo. I have been a fan of, getting like the best graphics possible. I remember first getting a 4K screen back in, I think it was around like 2012, 2013, on the cutting edge of that. But for 8K, like that just for me is too much. I don't see any real difference going anything higher than 4K. Can I? Oh, this program doesn't. Okay, it opens up as a thing in the taskbar. I always forget about that. Just clicking rapidly, hoping it works, and it didn't. Well, let me try this. Hold on. What if I selected this as an option instead? Yeah, certainly. What I'm on right now, and this is another reason why I didn't really care for 8K, because right now I'm running a 4K monitor that does 248 frames per second. And you don't really get 240 frames per second that often in 4K. So at that point, it's just kind of silly to even bother with 8K at all. It's also a lot more demanding. Alright, I'm probably gonna have to do this more of the workaround way. Oh, what is going on here? My other computer is freaking out. Like, I wanted to display a taskbar option, but then also turn off within like a half second of each other, so it was just flickering on and off really quickly. Oh, 500 hertz? That makes sense for people who want to play very competitive games. I don't play those games, but I can understand the logic of it. Like Overwatch 2 now, I suppose. I never really got into that game. Alright, so I don't think this is going to want to cooperate. So what if I open this up in OBS and then select this OBS option? Just to see here if this does anything. Oh, this might work. Wait. No, it's not working. Okay, never mind. Oh, we have to do this first. Let's see. You have a 280 hertz one? Okay, that's cool. I do think it's funny though, because I really wonder if you were to go from, let's say, 240 like I have to 280, is that something you could actually notice the difference of? Does it actually feel different to you? Because I've never been that much of a competitive gamer, so it's never made much of a difference to me. Like, even going from 120 to 240, I don't really, like, feel it. But I do notice how it's a little bit smoother. Like, as I played it more, and there's a few games I do get near 240, there are a couple games like, oh yeah, like, I can sort of notice the difference, but I don't really feel it in, like, the, like, mouse movements. Depends on the game. That's fair. Oh, this is a shame. I really thought I'd be able to get this working quite easily. I have one last thing I think I can try on this. Let's see. If I don't get this working, Cerise will be angry at me. She's already not posting. Actually, it'd be funny if she's already gone. Doesn't even matter anymore. I actually have to pull up a guide because I don't know how to do this anymore. Oh, Cerise is here just lurking, I see. Hopefully you can get a 4090 eventually. If you have a Micro Center nearby, try those. I got one on release date from Micro Center. And yeah, the thing, Vertical, is that there are legit companies that engage in scalping, or practices I would say are kind of on par with scalping. One thing is, Newegg has been kind of notorious for that lately, where instead of just selling the item, they sell it in a bundle with like crap you don't need. So instead of just selling you the graphics card, you buy the graphics card plus a power supply. And they're usually shit tier quality power supplies that they're just trying to get off of their, get out of their inventory. They started doing that back last generation, I think. And I guess they've only continued to do so. At least from what I've heard people talk about. Yeah, there used to be a way to do this, I thought. But maybe I'd download a third-party program to get this working. A bunch of weights? You know, the thing with that is, I'm not sure if that's true or not. Because there's a lot of people that do stupid things for Viral 10. So hell installed. Apparently it's not compatible with OBS anymore. So that's fantastic. Now I see a very good... Whoa, what is going on right now? Alright, so let's try this again. I started up the stream before and it looked like it had a lot of lag for some reason. I'm not even sure if what I said last time like really registered or not, so let me repeat myself. I went to try to install the program that I was going to use and it did not work. It apparently was not compatible with OBS anymore. I don't know what version it became outdated, but it did not work. Now I'm getting this message about the encoder overload again. What's going on here exactly? Alright, let's try this one more time. I'm thinking I have an idea of what is causing some issue. I'm not sure if I could fix it though. But I'm gonna see about this here. So I'm wondering if it's the fact that the GPU downclocks very rapidly from what I can tell on this. But right now it's working. And it's down to like 600 megahertz at this point. Oh god, this video is very annoying. Or the audio, I should say. I might have to just change it out. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna get into a game, kind of like I did last time, and see if, no, actually, you know, I'll let this go for a little bit, see if that does start encoding lag again. Here, I'll just have to sit around and be patient. And this is why I call this a test stream. Right now it's not doing it, but I don't know what that means exactly. Yeah, you haven't missed much, just 2 or so stream restarts. I don't know if there's a way anymore for you to force I guess I'll ask you guys in case anyone knows. Is there a way to force a graphics card to run at max clock speed instead of downclocking? Because it doesn't have a heavy load right now since I'm not playing a game. I was wondering if that's what caused the encoder to just kind of fail just before and stop the stream. But it's downclocked again and it's not doing it, so I don't know if that's the case or not. What's funny, I'm not sure why this is, but on my old computer, I don't remember it really downclocking as much as this one does, which is kind of like a good and bad thing. It's a good thing because it uses less power when I'm not doing anything. And it's bad if that is the case right now. The temperature is... I'll check this out. I'm going to say I don't believe it is, but I'll double check it just to be sure. And the reason why I don't think it is because I'm not encoding with the CPU. Yeah, the temperature's in the mid-30s to 40s, and it fluctuates because that's just how these processors are. Oh no, it still downclocks even if you have it maxed out, I believe. Because I have the power limit up to like 133 or whatever. Let's see if I add a slight... Oh, let me cancel this first. I'll add a slight core clock increase to see if that does anything. Well, you know, it's not doing it now, so I guess I'll assume that running OBS as administrator might have fixed it. So I had to change that a bit. Oh yeah, no worries, I got what you meant. Yeah, right now I'm just encoding with anything, so it shouldn't be causing any strain whatsoever to the CPU anyway. And it might have been the administrator thing, because it used to be a problem with OBS. I thought maybe they'd fix it, but it's running fine now. Or it could be something completely random, because it was running fine before this. Actually, a lot of people think that this CPU gets hot. It really doesn't get as hot as you might think it does. Because I was running it with Cyberpunk earlier as a test, and it was only really reaching at max probably in the 70s. Well, actually, I'd probably take it back. It has like momentary spikes where it'll probably get into the 80s, but on average, it was probably like 60s to 70s. But yeah, these processors, they get very hot on like max load. If you're running a benchmarking thing or stress testing, it'll get up to 100 easily. In gaming, it's not too bad. Though. And I'm running it with a little bit of an under voltage as well. Just gonna keep it a little bit cooler. Alright, well, after a couple of minutes, it's running fine right now. So I'm gonna assume that either administrator mode fixed it, or it's something else that I'm not gonna be able to figure out just from staring at it any longer. So what was I gonna do again? Oh yeah, Cerise, are you still there, by the way? I'm just kind of curious, because if you're not here, I'm just gonna give up on this. I know Cerise is gonna pop back in and make me do this. I do also want to see if I can get it working, just because I'm curious about why this doesn't work. I should just know it's technology, and technology never works. Yeah, webcam video source has a camera I'm using picked as the source. But for whatever reason, just out of curiosity, let me change it to another thing again. This is another webcam that I'm not using. And if I try to pick it in here now, I'm clear out these things I don't need as well. Voltage, it's using adaptive, and I just have the offset like to negative point. I want to say it's like 0.1. Because I want to say on average it picks out something that's fairly high. Oh, so it lets me pick this one, but not the webcam for some reason. Why is that? Not the webcam, but my Sony. Okay, that's just bizarre. So if I look at my monitoring software, I think it goes to like under load. It's about like 1.25 volts. If I remember it correctly. Yeah, I mean, I think with both AMD and Intel's generation, they're both pretty much designed to run at like 100. It's ridiculous. Everything's gotten so hot and power hungry lately. Both video cards and processors. So if I switch back now, just see here. Yeah, they don't get the option. Oh, nice, you gained the 13900. I can't wait to hear about your experience with it. You have to let me know. So I'm curious how the what's the exact terminology? Like the binning is for that? Basically, if it's able to clock higher with less voltage than the 13700. I'll have to do another stream soon so I can hear what your experience is if you happen to show up. Alright, I don't know why this doesn't work. It should work, but it doesn't. This technology. Alright, well, screw this. Try this one last thing, and if this doesn't do anything, then I'm just gonna give up for now. Yeah, this just gives me the pleasure of a black screen. Alright, well, maybe I'll get this working some other day. Maybe not. And the music. So what game did I want to test out? So what I'm doing today is I'm playing with HDR streaming on YouTube, and I'm not sure how this is going to work exactly. Because I want to test it out with both HDR games and non-HDR games, just to kind of get an idea of how this looks on YouTube itself. I think what I'll do first is try out with an HDR game, being that it is HDR mode. And which one do I want to mess around with? Maybe a little bit of Hitman. We did that the other day. I know it has HDR mode, and it works pretty decently well. From the bits of it that I did play. I go to type Hitman, and not only is it not like pop up, but when I start typing Hitman, H-I-T, Windows pops up with Adolf Hitler. Former Führer. Okay, that's great. That's not what I want. I love how Windows now pops up with like these random options from online instead of just like what you have installed on your computer. Then if I type in Hitman, it brings me the Hitman movie. No, I want to see what freaking games I've installed on my computer, you idiot. Fucking useless, man. I don't know why, I was gonna say Nintendo. I don't know why Windows thought like everything has to be geared towards kind of like, it's more like a phone than a computer the way this works. Just bizarre. I just had to comment it because it happened the other day when I was trying to bring up Hitman 2. I'm like, oh, that's, yeah, not exactly what I had intended. I'm also curious to see if we have the same thing happen where on stream it doesn't like when the game's in the menu. Because that kept crashing things too for whatever reason. Oh, that's right. I'm going to have to turn off things like Afterburner now because that usually interferes with the OBS capture. And I was doing that to monitor how things were going. Whoops. I might have to restart the game itself. If Apple made a GPU, it would only work with Apple computers. Probably be only compatible with like one generation of Apple computers. You have to have like a very specific Apple processor. And it would cost like 10 times what any other... They'd make NVIDIA look like good guys. It'd be crazy. Yeah, I'm probably going to restart this now because it never likes when I have Afterburner open at the same time. Unless I specify I want to capture a specific window. And okay, there it goes. Oh, and let's see. Set this to HDR. Okay. Yeah, you need a GPU key DLC to actually activate it. Oh, and then if you ever replace your graphics card, it gives you an error saying it... Whoa, what happened here? Oh, I think I know. Hold on. Yeah. What's weird about like certain things you notice is, so I went to increase the volume, actually I went to decrease the volume on my computer. And when I did that, it like messes up the HDR of the screen itself. And until like the UI showing the volume meter goes away, it's in like a non-HDR mode. Just like little weird quirks that really need to be fixed at some point. Right, I'll play the Paris level again, just so we have a similar thing to go by from last stream. Oh, and what I wanted to see was how the stream looks on a non-HDR screen, so I'm going to bring up my stream on my laptop.
Welcome to Paris 47. The show is just about to start. This is the red carpet event of the season, and the guest list is a veritable who's who of the global fashion elite.
HDR is such a funny thing. When it actually works, it looks nice, but then sometimes it's such a pain to get working.
Regarded auction on the second floor for a group of Iago's top customers. Now, event security will keep a watchful eye on any suspicious activity, but I trust your timeless look shall fit right in.
But yeah, I'm curious to see how this actually looks if you're just watching it on like a regular screen. I need to uninstall something. Something that helped out a lot is actually I finally went and got myself a registered copy of Windows. Because I think that also interferes with HDR working on some games. Yeah, that looks about fine. I was wondering if it'd be like unwatchable. But OBS actually handles that pretty automatically and decently, I would say. Now, how are we doing with encoder? Oh, it looks like it's working fine. I don't see very many drops. Isn't HDR a bunch of filter changes? I mean, ideally it shouldn't be that way. It probably depends on certain games, though. Some games probably do make it just like a filter change. But it's supposed to increase basic. I don't know how to explain this. On like a standard definition, red, green, and blue are measured from a value of 0 to a value of 255, and then in HDR it's supposed to be what, like 0 to 1023 or whatever. So 1024 values of brightness with each color. That's the idea behind it anyway. Wow, this looks very, very dark. But it adapts over time. It's just, whoa. It's like a stark difference. It's kind of realistic, but at the same time, it's difficult from a gameplay perspective. Yeah, higher range of colors. I guess I could just give the exact name of it, and that would make more sense, I suppose. Yeah, it gives you a higher dynamic range. There you go. Like a camera. But when trying to adapt it to video, for whatever reason, it can be difficult to do. Mostly because it's been a standard for so long, and then changing all, I guess it's hard to do between the monitors and displays themselves to having games actually accept them. I suppose it's easier when you're actually making a movie.
Look, Daniel, she's nice.
Look how dark this is.
I don't know. They're so thin looking.
Slim, Daniel.
Hi.
Oh, that suddenly got brighter for some reason.
Mother.
That's weird. It's like the light from this doesn't really reflect until we get closer.
Guess what, Daniel?
It's supposed to be the same for this side too. That's weird. That might have to do with like the ray tracing that's in the game itself. That's not really reflecting that the light's hitting from that angle. Alright. Well, I'm not here to like nitpick the game itself. Oh, that's right. I wanted to see, because if I'm capturing with HDR, I'm not really able to
Hello there.
capture video using QuickSync. So let me see if I can capture 81 if that actually works effectively. Or if it just starts stalling. Alright, so far so good. Oh really? Free girls, is that so? Well, it's good to know they're free. So I'm pretty sure that'd be an issue if they weren't at this point. There we go. I love how that's a thing on YouTube these days. Yeah, you're not allowed allowed to actually own girls anymore. I know that may be disappointing news to some of you, but they made that an issue quite some time ago now. Oh, that's what, look at that. Hold on, what are the settings in this game? Do they get like reset somehow? Like there are characters that are disappearing fairly close to where I am. I don't know what the actual setting would be. No, I'm not seeing it. You guys see what I mean though? See that person outside? And now more people are coming in as they get closer. I don't remember that being a thing in this game, was it? Same goes for other areas too. Like, people are only rendering in fairly close to where I am. For some reason. Now the game's getting very laggy. Is there a frame rate counter in this game? I think I checked the other day and it didn't have one either. Yeah, I was looking for an option for that, but I didn't see one. I don't know if you guys saw one. Like level of detail. Well, you would think it would refer to this. Adjust the level of detail and dry distance of models, but it's on ultra. So... And I don't remember that being a thing I noticed when I played this game last time. Or earlier. Now, I think I could bring up Afterburner now that I have the game started without negative effects. So let me take a look at what exactly we're hitting. Yeah, what's weird though is I don't remember having this problem last time I played this, which was actually just a few days ago. Yeah, frame rate as a whole seems a lot lower than it was before, and I thought I was at the same settings.
Yeah, well, he wants to act all cheap.
Now we're only hitting 60 frames about. And obviously lower when we were doing that before. Did I not have ray tracing on before? I thought I did, and I was impressed that ray tracing was on, it was doing so well. Now it doesn't seem to actually be performing decently by any means whatsoever. That's bizarre. Alright, just for curiosity, I can't change ray tracing itself, but I can change these ones.
We gotta say let him. It's his company.
Well, that fixed it. By a lot. What about the rendering? Let's see.
Still no answer.
No, the rendering is still, there's still a lot of popping for some reason. Maybe the ray tracing wasn't on even though I thought it was last time? It still does that as well. Alright, I wonder if I get out of the game, if I come back in, maybe it'll be different? I don't know. I could double check on last stream that we did of this. I'm not going to do it now, but I'll do it after I end this stream. Because I am fairly certain we didn't have that sort of pop-in. In fact, I've never noticed this before. How many CUDA cores does the 4090 have? A hell of a lot. Without actually looking it up, I know it's a lot. More than this game should need, that's for certain. That's very strange, though. Because I'm pretty sure those settings were the same as last time, and I felt like the game ran a whole lot better back then. Alright, so I'm going to change ray tracing off in the pre-game configuration mode. Let's see, I can pull it up on my other computer. Oh yeah, only 16,384 to be more specific. A lot of factors. Without being an actual expert on it. The CUDA Core DLC. I don't need to get online on your whatever the hell that just said. Assume you guys could see that. It's like a pop-up from I don't even know what this game is made by anymore. Let's just load in the level from the start so it doesn't have any other issues.
Welcome to Paris, 47.
Thank you. Thank you for the welcome. Right. So I just want to get back to that same area and see how the poppin' is there.
Huh?
People popping in this room?
Good evening, sir. Welcome to Sanguine.
What? Okay.
I'm not really noticing it now. Oh, wait. There's no one out here now, but if you get closer...
What's going on?
No, it's this room. That's right. So, coming from this door... Yeah, they start steering down. I don't know. I honestly can't remember. Here, you know what? Did I come? I don't know if I even went this far last time. Maybe it's just like a difference in this version of the game.
Have fun. Identify yourself.
I don't need to identify myself.
Jeez.
Some people say it and other people disagree. Maybe I just didn't get far enough on this one. Alright, well. I don't know. I think I've tested this one out, though, for the extent that I needed to. I was mostly curious to see. Alright, never mind. I was just checking something. I was just curious to see how the HDR looked, and when I noticed that disturbed me, so I wanted to see if I get to the bottom of that, but I don't really know about that. I could check the last stream, but I don't even know if I went that way to have seen if those people pop in or not. But I thought that they didn't. So I did want to test other games without HDR, and see how they look if I'm streaming it in HDR with OBS. So what game do I have that I could test that out with? Oh, I know. We could do 7 Days to Die. That game doesn't have much in the way of advanced settings. Imagine there being a subscription to a GPU that you need to sign up on the GPU for it to work. Oh my god. I could, actually. Isn't that sort of what the NVIDIA Now thing is? So you're basically renting out a GPU that you can play games with. You know, I've noticed there's a lot of audio popping, and it's not just with, I assumed it was with the VLC thing, but it's actually just with everything right now. I wonder why that is. Anyway. Oh, this is also, oh, because I specified Hitman 3 as the target. Let's see if we can get this to work. There we go. Yeah, I just don't have any desire to try the cloud gaming. It actually looks fine, I would say. I'm just looking at the menu because the stream has a delay on it. Alright, now let's get into the game itself. this a bit stuttery? No, it's just in YouTube playback. Which could also be the fact this is a very old and underpowered laptop. Yeah, actually, the whole stream is buffering. This is like a 10-year-old laptop that I'm using right now. So that would be a reason for it. Alright, well this is cool to know. So even if I play on, with OBS and HDR mode, so to speak, even if I load in a standard definition or standard dynamic range game, it actually looks decent. I also want to see, here we go. So I think my phone, if I load in, my phone should do this in HDR, I believe. I just want to confirm that. I just want to make sure this is just on this laptop. Is the stream smooth or does it keep on buffering for you guys? Because on the laptop that I'm using to try to monitor this on, it keeps buffering, but I think it's just because it's an old laptop. Yeah, let's see. On my phone, it has HDR. Oh, it looks pretty much the same as it does on the laptop. That's not HDR. That's good. We like to see consistency. So it's like the same thing people are getting. It's pretty smooth. Oh, alright, that's good to know. Can we not give them any ideas on stuff like this? Limited downloads per hour. You put this idea in their head and they'll definitely implement it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna say earlier, but I got distracted by everything else. So, schedule-wise, I've been talking to Mike, and we're probably gonna start up another playthrough of this game on Thursday. At least that's the plan so far. I was talking to him about a few other things. I was saying, if he was interested in Elden Ring, there's actually a co-op mode you play with that game. And I asked him about that. I don't know if he was that interested in it. Like, he thought it was cool, but I think he's probably more of a fan of playing this game. And also, he's very, I don't think he's gonna be in a hurry to, like, get the game and want to play it. So I think, if anything, we're still gonna be playing in 7 days, even if that is something we end up doing in the future. Thank God there's no nudity in this game. Yeah, I have nothing for my character to eat because I've been messing around in the save file. Oh, I know. Wait, this game doesn't have a, I thought it did, but it doesn't. Never mind. I was gonna say, I want to see what it looks like with a, the frame rate being measured, but it doesn't actually have the option here. You know, I'm tempted to do it out of curiosity. Wait, it only goes up to 100, never mind. I was gonna see what happens if I increase it beyond 100, but this one does not yet. It's so funny how much smoother the playback is on my phone versus on the laptop. Just shows how damn powerful these phones are. The laptop's like probably a half a minute behind with all the stuttering it's doing versus the phone. Alright, so bottom line, whether I stream in SDR or HDR, it's about the same for people watching, whether they're on HDR or SDR. Which I'm happy to know. So that means I don't have to worry about people seeing two totally different things. I just remember watching videos in the past of people being like, okay, so if you want to do HDR, then you have to add these color profiles to get it working right. And it's good to know that's no longer a thing you need to do at this point. Because it just seemed like a massive pain to get all that working and looking correctly. Oh, and also, since I've been recording, it doesn't seem to have been any problem whatsoever with dropped frames. And I've been recording with the AV1 encoder, which I don't know what it is about AV1, but it is very efficient. I do not get it ever causing me any encoder overload. That's why I really want YouTube to implement it. Let me think if there's anything else I want to do. You know, I'll put the... Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to find out about this music. So let me try this first. Actually, I'll put it on through my YouTube playlist itself. Let's see here. How do I get to my playlists? YouTube, why are you so confusing? Here we go, I should expand all this stuff here. Just to make sure it's not just a song. Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. Why does it keep doing this little crackling thing? I noticed another day that Windows automatically puts in these audio enhancements, as they call it. You know, this is very loud, by the way. Let me turn this down. So this is very loud for you guys. AV1? I believe Intel has it with Arc. I don't know how it works with Arc, because I don't have an Arc card. But with NVIDIA's implementation, AV1 works incredibly well. I don't know what it is. I've been testing with H.264 and what's HEVC in OBS for recordings. And AV1 for me is the most efficient. As in, well, I mean, it should be the most efficient just from it's a more technically advanced one, but it's really good at not introducing encoder overload, which I get on both H.264 and HEVC. I don't know why, because I would think that it would be more demanding than those other two, but for whatever reason, it actually isn't. At least from the tests I've done. Anyway, I was gonna say, I noticed that before Windows 11 automatically turns on several audio enhancement options, and I think that was one of the problems I had last time with this. So I have to see if I turn this off if they're... Okay, they're still off. So this could be something different. I also don't like how you can't easily get to that sound control panel that was more typical in the older Windows. Oh, I have an idea of what this could be. This could be my fault, not Windows for a change. Okay, that's better. There we go. Oh no, I hear it a little bit still. Let me increase this a little bit more. Well, it's reduced, I would say. So I'm using a Behringer audio interface, and I just increased the ASIO buffer size for this. Yeah, it's definitely much less now. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. If it does it only occasionally, that's alright with me. I said that and it does it immediately after. Just for the sake of it, let me test if I put that on extremely high. actually would be somewhat interested in trying an Intel Arc at some point, especially because they're a much cheaper card. Just to see if like I was to use that on like a second PC, because I actually have like a second and even a third PC in my household. How that would actually work if I didn't want to buy another expensive thing just to use 81 encoding. Insta Arc be like puke? I don't know. I've never tried it. I mean, it's rather recent. And I haven't really watched a lot of the media surrounding it. But given that it's a first implementation of Intel making a video card, I would believe that it's pretty suboptimal. Trying to be polite about it. It's alright after a few updates. Yeah, hopefully with drivers it could be tamed into something usable. It'll probably be at least like another generation of actual hardware before it's fully smooth, I would guess. But I'm glad to hear it's at least getting better with the updates. Alright, it's a lot better now. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Well, that's another thing we solved. That was just introduced by me, though, for trying to get the latency down as much as possible with the audio. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not like the latency's actually that much bigger now. They're horrible. Oh, you know what? I have seen a little bit of Arc. Who was that made that video? Was it Gamers Nexus? Yeah, I saw someone like tearing down the Arc, and it looked like it was not ideal by any means. Lots of screws and the cover is glued shut. Yeah, I saw there's a lot of glue on it. The only card that I really took apart was the 2080, and that was because that was the only graphics card that really bothered water cooling. When the 3000 series came out, I was going to move to water cooling with that as well, but well, first of all, I wanted to get a 3090, but I couldn't at first because of how hard it was to get at the time. And then later on, I decided to like stop by Micro Center. Actually, I went to Micro Center because I was trying to get the AMD 5000 series that had just come out in like the November after that. So I think the 3090 came out in October. Then the Ryzen 5000 series came out in November. I went to Micro Center in November. They were out of the 5000 series, but they actually had one last 3080 in stock, so I got the 3080. And then later on after the fact, I was able to get a 3090. But basically, I didn't get into water cooling the 3080 because I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to keep it because I eventually want to upgrade. And when I got the 3090, I'm like, you know, just in case anything ever happens, these cards are just like so hard to get. I'm just going to keep it to air cooling. When I had it on the 2080, it was actually the 2080 Ti. It ran so cool. It was impressive. And because of how cool it ran, it did keep up the boost clocks higher than it normally would be. But yeah, there's always a risk with that. And I will admit, yeah, with my custom loop, eventually I did have an issue with water leaking. But luckily it was for a it was not my main computer, it was like another computer I had with like an older motherboard. So it didn't like hurt my main system because I'd already moved over to the 3090 and the Ryzen 5000 series I had at the time, which I wasn't water cooling. So it only really damaged my older setup, which was, I think, the it was an Intel system. It was the 9900K, and whatever motherboard that was at the time. Which I'm actually not sure. I know the motherboard died, but I'm not sure about the processor itself. That may have survived, but I had no way to test it. Anyway, what do I want to do right now? In terms of gaming, is there anything else I want to try? I think I'm pretty happy with what I tested out so far. I could try it with some more games, but I'm fairly certain that things will just work whether I do HDR or non-HDR for these streams in the future. But I guess if there's a game with HDR in it, I may as well stream HDR because it's not going to have any negative effect on you guys in terms of video quality. Yeah, just for the sake of it, I'll try one more game here. Because I'm curious how this runs in general on the system. Try emulation? Oh, I could try. The only problem is, I don't know if I have... I don't know if there's... I haven't really used emulation in a while because there hasn't been a lot that I've tried emulating. So I may have to like update what emulators I have. And also this is a new build, so I don't really have any installed. Okay. I love when I'm just commenting on like something happening on my screen that you guys can't see. Anyway, this is Mass Effect. The new edition here. The funny thing is, it doesn't actually show up in, Yeah, I'm not actually seeing it. I'm almost looking at a bit of the audio setter again. Oh, now it's showing up. I guess this is not in 4K for some reason. Looks like maybe it's 1440p. This game is weird. Because I'll go with that menu first. Maybe now it will be. Because now this actual game is booted up, I think. Perhaps. Oh yeah, I've emulated things before. I know it's easy. And the thing is, I have no doubt that emulation worked pretty well on this computer. It's just, I don't really have it set up to do so at the moment. And I'm incredibly lazy right now and don't feel like setting it up. But I'm sure it would look great. Alright, let me specify manually. Will this show up now? I've actually never tried this game in OBS, I don't think. I did the old Mass Effect. Oh, there we go. Not too bad. First time set for emulators varies. Yeah, I've done a lot with emulators. I am aware of that. There's some that are very smooth and some that are less than optimal. And I'm sure now in 2022 current year, it's probably even easier than it used to be for some of them. How do I use this again? Oh, there we go. It's your spacebar for that. Run Super Mario Brothers for the Wii. That's cool. I really like the, that's one I really like, Dolphin. That's a really smooth emulator. There's just like a couple things you have to do each time, which I had optimized. Like you also have to have the GameCube BIOS thing to install each time if you want to play those games. And I think I have that saved now to an easy to access folder whenever I need to. But that still goes for other systems like PlayStation 2. Or PCSX2, I think it is. Yeah. Or whatever combination of letters and numbers it may have been. There we go. Oh, that's Keaton. Or Ashley, one of them.
Perimeter clear.
This looks rather smoothly. I'm pleased with this so far. What is this button to run in this game? It keeps bringing up this menu. Must be a different button than this, obviously.
That door, it's closed. Security locks engaged.
Yeah, but we could hack it, right? There we go.
Humans.
You're just probably trying to get used to the button layout after not playing this game in a long time.
The door before they come back.
They have a new UI for PCSX too? Okay, that's cool. Oh, maybe it's one that I'm used to, because I think I played it more recent than 2016. Actually, have I? Not sure. I remember I used that for when I was playing Wild Arms, Alter Code F.
What are you doing here?
I'm Dr. Warren. I was in charge of this excavation. We hid in the shed during the attack. They must have come for the beacon. Luckily, it wasn't here. It was moved to the spaceport earlier this morning. Manuel and I stayed behind to pack up the camp. When the attack came, the Marines held them off long enough for us to hide. They gave their lives to save us.
No one is saved. The age of humanity
You know,
is ended.
somewhat related to emulation. One thing that I want to do that I haven't tried out yet is use the what do you want to call it exactly? The PC port of Ocarina of Time that was released, the unofficial one, because I've heard a lot of good things about that.
What else can you tell me about the attack?
It all happened so fast. One second we were gathering up our equipment. The next we were hiding in the shed while the Geth swarmed over the camp.
Agents of the destroyers.
And also, I'm curious, do they have a version of Majora's Mask for the PC as well now?
We could hear the battle
Because those games are
outside,
pretty
but
similar in
the
engine
Geth
design.
screams.
So I don't know if that's also been backported or
Then everything
reverse
went
engineered,
quiet.
however you
We just sat there.
use the
too afraid to
terminology.
move, until you came along.
Yeah, and they had the Mario 64 port as well.
Can you tell
That was
me
also
anything about
very
the beacon?
It's some type
very
of
well
beacon
received,
mark
highly
from a
reviewed.
Galaxy-wide communications network, remarkably well preserved.
and reviewed not
The
exactly
greatest
by
scientific discovery of our
like
lifetime.
IGN or whatever, but just by
Miraculous
people
new
who've played it.
technologies, groundbreaking medical advances. Who knows what secrets are locked inside?
Is that so? That's good to know. Because I'm also a big fan of Majora's Mask.
Awaken the beast.
In some ways, even more so than Ocarina of Time.
The darkness.
Manuel, please.
I don't usually like picking between them because to me they're just so like they just go together essentially. What's with this
What's wrong
guy?
with your assistant?
Manuel has a brilliant mind, but he's always been a bit unstable.
Jackport, as in
Genius
Jack and
madness are
Daxter?
two sides of the same coin.
Is it madness to see
They got those games ported as well?
the destruction rush
I did not know
towards us?
that.
To understand there is no escape, no hope. No.
I only
not
played the
mad.
first game of that series, but I really
I'm
liked it
the only sane one
for the
left.
time. Yeah.
I gave
Well, that's
him
interesting. I'd
physics
never thought they'd
lessons
get that
after the
game ported
attack.
over. I can shut him up.
Say goodnight, Manuel.
You cannot silence
He just
me,
says, "Good night,
Bruce.
Manuel."
My voice must be heard.
Oh my God! What did you do?
That might have been a little extreme, Commander.
You can't just go around whacking people in the head.
It was only a matter of time until he did something crazy and dangerous.
I suppose you're right. By the time he wakes up, the meds will have kicked in.
Williams, take us to the spaceport.
Good luck, Commander.
Maybe there was no run button in this game. I actually don't remember. I thought there was though. No, I don't need to see the cutscene. I just wanting to see how this game played. Is there no skip button? I guess not.
Saren.
I do like how it does a little like
Madness.
booping sound each time you do it though.
This isn't your mission, Saren. What are you doing here?
That's weird. There's no skip button in this game. What the hell?
On this one. I wasn't expecting to find the Geth here. The situation's bad.
All right, enough of this.
Don't worry.
I didn't want to actually play the game as in... Oh, it takes you back out to this menu for some reason. It's a menu of where you pick out which game you want to play out of the trilogy. All right. So I don't know. I was going to do some more Persona today, But I'm not sure because I intended to start a little bit earlier, but we had some issues with some of the other games. So I might just wait for another day to do more Persona. I might do some tomorrow night, and it'll just be started from the get-go. Oh, you know, there's something I want to check about Persona, though. Vertigo wants to see Persona? I'm tempted, but I didn't want to stream too late. I actually wanted to get done by like 11 o'clock, and then just kind of relax for the rest of the night. No, I haven't seen Chainsaw Man yet, either. So if we do Persona tomorrow, I would start at an earlier time, just from like the beginning of the stream, and then play it for like a good 2 or 3 hours at least. Whereas with today, I probably would want to wrap it up by 11:30 at like the latest, which would only give us like about an hour and 15 minutes, probably less by the time we get started. I do want to get the game started though, just to check out something with the settings. You know, it's funny. Like, I feel like every time I check the taskbar, usually Game Pass is in there. But when I actually expect it to be there, it's not. Game Pass, where are you? Actually, it's just called Xbox. I think they changed the name of it on Windows. Because I don't think Persona had an HDR option. But I'm just going to check and make sure. Yes, whatever. But yeah, I'm still thinking about checking out the Chainsaw Man. I heard someone else talking about it recently, and they had a high opinion of it as well. Oh, and that's right. This game doesn't render in 4K unless you do that little workaround thing I mentioned the other day. I'll have to change that again if I want this to actually take up the full screen like this. For now, I don't need to really worry about it, though. I wonder what that question mark thing is. Is that like a New Game Plus mode? Alright, so what are the settings in here? Network functions? Oh, that's just that thing they pick at the beginning. Are links good here? Try to post a link, and I wonder if I can approve it manually. I'm not sure. I'm going to say it won't let you post it on default, but I'm not sure if it'll give me the option of approving it or not. So post link and then type a message saying that you post the link, and I'll see if it shows up in the moderation review. Yeah, I don't think there's HDR in this game. So this I'll just stick to regular. This was 4 months ago? What? Oh, the jack port? Oh, that's what you're going to try to link to, I'm assuming. Alright, well, let's just find it now. Let me see if I just tab out now and change this. I wonder if that resets the size of this automatically as well. Okay, then no, it doesn't show up for moderation review either, which I kind of hoping it would have done. But you could also post on the Discord, because you are free to post links on the Discord, assuming you're in the approved user section. Which, to be an approved user, all you have to do is actually go into Discord and just say hello in the introduction section and state who you are. Let's see. Scaling. Change that back to 100. And then I just have to change this. Actually, I think I have to restart the game at that point, because that actually doesn't resize the window properly. You're in it, but you lurk a lot? Oh yeah, then you can just send it there. It doesn't matter that you're a lurker. You are not going to be chased out for posting a link. As long as it's a relevant link. As long as you're not posting something inappropriate, I suppose I should say. But I know that you're not going to. That's just a message in general. Is that an issue anyone else would run into while playing this game on PC? The resolution scaling kind of tripping the game up. You know, sorry, certain games it always says it's turning on an auto HDR mode. I have no idea what that actually means. If it's applying some kind of like fake HDR effect to the game. It hasn't been to any effect that I've noticed detrimentally so far anyway. Yeah, but now the game renders fine. So that's just kind of an annoying thing I have to keep in mind whenever I play this game. I wonder if there's a way to do that automatically. To have certain games not be resized. I mean, games shouldn't be resized in general, but I guess things don't always work perfectly. I don't see an option to control the scaling. Whatever. There's just be something to keep in mind. Oh, you've only played it on the emulator? Okay, makes sense. Then yeah, that wouldn't apply at all. Well, basically the game looks fine. But yeah, I think if I did play Persona, just because there's no HDR mode in the game, I'd probably just stick to SDR for this. I didn't think it would have it. So I remind myself where we were in the game. I think it's like still in the very beginning. Yeah, and that's still working just fine. I didn't think it would be a problem with this game because it's not a very intensive game to run. Oh, well, essentially with the PC version of this game, or I should say at least the Game Pass version of this game because that's what I have, the resolution doesn't actually show up as 4K if you're using Windows display scaling options. So you actually have to turn that back down to only 100%. And that also just goes for Windows 11. I don't know how it works on the other versions because I'm using Windows 11 now, and that's what I have to live with. But I assume you know what I'm talking about. That option to get in Windows, I think it's in the display settings where you can choose if you want the size of text, apps, and other items scaled to a certain percentage. Oh, what kind of mods do they have for the emulated version? I didn't actually know that it's a game they had mods for. I guess so. I've only been using it briefly. For the most part, I don't actually care about Windows differences, and I don't notice them for the most part, but there's a few things every now and then it's like, oh, that's inconvenient. That's less than ideal. I wouldn't have done that if I was making the change, but, well, they did. It's funny, I still get the little bit of audio crackle, even though I already adjusted things in that other setting. Let me try one more thing. Actually, I wonder if it got changed automatically, because I don't know if it's Windows 11 or if it's just other things in particular, but it seems like things adjust every now and then without me even knowing it. No, according to this, it didn't adjust. wonder if it'd actually be worth getting a different audio interface with this, because it actually was a pain to get this working with Windows 11. I had to install a very specific version of the driver for this audio device, because the old one didn't work. It was only compatible with Windows version 10, or Windows 10. And then I got the newest version, and it wouldn't detect the audio device at all with those drivers, even though they're meant for Windows 11. So then I had to find one that was kind of like in between, like not the most recent, but also more recent than the one that didn't have the Windows 11 support. And that one finally worked, but it could still have other issues, which maybe that's part of why I hear this audio popping or crackling every now and then. Yep, even turning up even higher, I still hear it every now and then. Oh yeah, same here, Vertigo. I probably would have just stuck to Windows 10 if, well, I mean, I did stick to Windows 10 for my Ryzen build, but with Intel and their new, like, efficiency core standard, you pretty much need to have Windows 11 for that. I don't even know if it works with Windows 10, does it? If it does, I don't think it's as efficient. You might know more about that than I do. Or I should say, I think you'd probably be more certain about it than I am. Because I think I've heard that before, but you can confirm if that's true or not. Let me see if I turn on... Very... Yep. Actually, not as much as I expected. So maybe it is tied to something else. Well, just something else I might have to troubleshoot a bit. As is, actually an amount I could live with. But I'd rather have it completely stable. No, if I'm listening carefully, it is doing it more than it was before. At least I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's definitely better. The people at Intel said on the newest update on Windows, it will support the CPU chip, or it will work better. Well, I hope so. You would hope that these updates would make improvements and not make things worse. Started thinking a more clever way to say that, but I couldn't. Alright, so I'm just going to play some music. And, actually wrap things up a little bit on the earlier side. Like I said, I was going to go to, like, around 11. That was my initial plan. But I'm just going to chill here for a little bit. If you guys have things you want to talk about, whether it's computers or games or anything else, I'll be here for a little bit longer. If the conversation is dying down, though, I probably will end the stream. Yeah, I mean, that's a general idea. Updates are supposed to fix things. But a lot of times they fix one thing and then make something else worse. At least that's what I've noticed. Oh, you know what I could do since I'm just messing around now and have free time? I'll look into the webcam thing one more time. Now we're at the end of the stream. I might as well spend my time doing that. Tend to wait with these updates. Yeah, actually, for the most part, I don't think I really do updates unless Windows does it automatically. And then maybe like every 6 months or so, I'll like check for updates manually. Just see if there looks like there's anything important. But other than that, no, I'm not really looking for updates. with NVIDIA, the graphic drivers, I tend to update those if there's like a new game out, and I want to make sure it has all the compatibility worked into it. And that tends to be the only time if there's like a big game coming out that I think may potentially benefit from it. Yeah, that's a fair point too. If there's some big news about an exploit or some kind of vulnerability, that's a good time to update as well. Definitely. I agree. I know, I didn't realize I saw the remote desktop from my other computer brought up. When all my information's stolen. Yeah, I don't think that'd be the most fun. So, there we go. I could share that at least. Try to see if we get this to look any bit better. But I'm not sure. How's editing with the CPU? I haven't done it yet. You may not have noticed, but I haven't really been editing videos in particular. Actually, I just did one the other day for the that stream where we did a little bit of Persona, because I wanted to get the Persona video separated. Oh, you know, I could probably do it like this. Let's see. There we go. Yep, if only Cerise was around now, but I think she left. I was gonna try to do like a smoother way of getting the webcam from that computer working, but I just kind of brute force it, essentially. Which, I mean, I guess this works fine. So we could chill while I keep Dumpling on the background. I think this is what Cerise really wanted. We have Cerise Cerise watching Dumpling up on the monitor, and I could just gab away about whatever. Yeah, I'll mention her on Discord. I don't know if she's still on. Is it better to export on the CPU or the GPU in After Effects or Premiere Pro? I haven't really done a lot of testing on the video quality of it. I think they generally say now that GPU encoding is pretty much on par with most CPU settings at this point. But this isn't going from my experience, this is going from just what I've heard from other people. That GPU encoding, or NVENC encoding anyway, I don't really know about AMD, is pretty much on par with medium or even like the slow setting of X264. Or H264, I guess, depending on which kind of implementation it is. So I would say just go for whatever's faster, because I don't think it's going to make much of a difference in quality at this point. But I'm not really the expert on that. I actually don't use Adobe products that much. When I started out playing or doing Let's Plays, I was using Sony Vegas at the time. Eventually it got sold to another company, it's Magic Vegas now. And I like that just because of how simple it was. It was a very simple program to use compared to Adobe Premiere. And I know Premiere has a lot of... There's a lot more customization you could do in Premiere. And it's probably better for a number of reasons, but I think it's mostly like the shortcuts you can use in Vegas. I just got used to that, and it's more convenient to do so. You pirate them? Well, I will not say whether or not I would engage in such activities, but I find it very hard to pay so much money per month just for the privilege of using Adobe products, but I have tried them out before. I won't go any more into that. And generally for what I do, the difference is just not that, like, I don't do much editing in my videos. When I was doing editing, it'd mostly be to just maybe cut out a few parts here and there, and for cutting videos, I don't need Adobe for that. I probably don't even need the Sony thing for that either, or Vegas in general. There's probably other free stuff now that you could use, but I've never bothered looking into it. You know, I think there's some deals they cut with you, where if you wanted to get them, you could use them for a much cheaper price if you're like a student, or that sort of thing, but you know, it doesn't apply to me. One thing I wish I could do right now, but I can't. I went downstairs the other day to talk to Dumpling, and if you like kind of talk to him, he'll do his little frog croaking. He doesn't do it every time, but every now and then he'll do it, especially if you like reach the right tone with him that he likes it, and he'll start singing back. But I don't think I even have the audio working from his room right now. At least I don't believe it is. You could probably check by muting the audio. See if it's playing any audio from that side of things. Nope, that just goes completely silent. Okay. It would show something if there was a little bit of audio playing. Yeah, I think I might have used student discounts for a few things back in the day, but I don't think it was as common as it is now to have all these student discounts. Seems like everything has them now. It's funny, I was looking on, there's a website called Slick Deals, which, you know, posts when things go on sale. And there's so many things now. It's like, oh, there's a Samsung TV, but if you have a, whatever they call it, EDU email, you can get it for this price instead. It's like, I don't really know how it's related to being like a student that you get this discount, but it's cool if you have it, I guess. A little bit of both, Vertigo. Most of the programs I've seen for doing video editing and that have video encoding on them for export, they'll use GPU for hardware acceleration, they call it. And that's supposed to help out a bit. So you can run things and hopefully they play at real time. Which probably has less to do if you're just doing standard 1080p. If you're doing 4K, it probably is more useful. Actually, what's funny is even with hardware encoding, sometimes 4K doesn't play smoothly in editing programs. I don't know why. I think it's because they're not always tuned for like the encoding that OBS is using. Like it's used for more generalized H.264 encodes. Everything's on sale, so people feel more convinced to buy it when it's just the original price anyway. Which is illegal, I think? Wait, hold on, let me... Oh, you mean like people will say something's on sale, but it's really like the original price? Like they say people do that with with Steam sales, right? They'll say, "Oh, now it's on sale for like 50% off," but meanwhile they increase the price of the game in the first place to make it look like it's on sale when it's actually not. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but maybe. You know what? Since I'm messing around here, let's see if we can do this. Now, unless he moves, he actually minimizes this to be like that. There we go. What I'm gonna see is if I could just test out something else while I'm just waiting here. Actually, I need to add another game capture for this. There we go. Yeah, if he hops around, I'll try to move the camera, I guess. Yeah, I know that Death Stranding had good HDR options. I had that on to begin with. I'll see if that's standard. Actually, this is the Death Stranding Director's Cut, which I streamed, I think, the original, not the Director's Cut of this game. Yeah, I had like a couple of things, but it wasn't like a huge difference to the game itself. That's right. I just want to open up Afterburner in here just to see what we're getting in terms of frame rate. I like how that guy was freaking out like he's gonna hit him. Oh, you know, I realized I still have the music going. Should probably stop that. There we are. I'm actually gonna get a bit of encoder overlag in this. Or overload, I should say. Interesting. I wonder if that's from the settings or from the fact that I have the webcam up at the same time. And that causes more of a load on things. Let me reset it, because I want to see how bad it. Alright, what's funny is if it gets bad enough, the stream itself cuts off automatically, which I actually don't like. Is there a way to shut that off? I'll have to check this out in OBS later, see if there's a way to turn that off, because actually it's kind of annoying that it cuts you off completely. I mean, even if the encoder is that bad, I would still like to keep it on, rather than just shut off the stream. Anyway, I was going to see if it's only the webcam causing that, or if it's also the game itself. Actually, it might be the game itself. So this game might put more of a load on things, compared to the other ones I've been playing so far. Seems to be. So let me see it. If I stop the recording, do we still have it? Actually, we still have it even with the recording on. So this might need an actual step down in the tier of HEVC encoding I'm doing. So let me try that. I'll have to stop and restart the stream real quick. Whoa. Let me pause the game. It actually is even worse than before, and I put it on... Okay, maybe it's stabilizing out now. That's weird. So it was even worse. I put it on a less aggressive setting. Let me unpause the game for a second, just see if it goes right back to overloaded. Yep, it does. So I don't know what it is. Maybe with some games it just really does not like this. Whoop. How odd. I don't know what it would be about this game in particular. It runs at a pretty solid 120 frames. GPU usage doesn't actually max out. Yeah, it goes from working smoothly to immediately being over-encoded if I unpause it. Just giving this a little bit of thought to try to figure out what it could be. For the sake of it, let's see here. I already have it capped to 120, but let's drop it down to 60 just to see what happens. Well, that seems to get rid of it. Of course, that gets me all the way back down to only 60 frames on my end. Not that it matters for you guys. Oh yeah, YouTube does have an HDR option. It's had it for a while, I believe. The only thing was OBS didn't really have an HDR option for outputting video until earlier this year. So most streams probably don't have HDR, but it is something you can do on YouTube. It actually has been for a while, I believe. So I guess that's the thing. I guess OBS doesn't always work well if you're actually playing the game in a higher frame rate. Which is a shame. Because I would really like to play the game at a higher frame rate, but then OBS starts choking up on the encoder, it looks like. Let me see a little bit about the settings. Maybe I could adjust something else somehow. No, I've adjusted everything else pretty much as low as it can go. See, this is one of the things where the HEVC encoding doesn't excel in comparison to AV1. I really hope YouTube gets that working sometime soon. Because if I go to like this... Yeah, we start getting the lag pretty quickly. And part of it is probably enhanced by the fact that it's also HDR, so it's probably adding a bit more load to everything. Suffering from success. Yeah, I just have to accept that for what it is. Actually, I don't know if the game itself will like this, but I'm just curious to see here. What if I cap the frame rate to something in between? Like, let's set it to 90. The game itself doesn't have the option to cap it to 90, but I'm assuming it'll work. Or not. There's a couple of things I can use to try to cap the frame rate. Let me try. Where is it? I was just trying to do it in NVIDIA control panel, but for some reason it didn't actually take. There we go. Oh. There we go. Just need to actually see OBS. That works fairly well. I think it has a little bit of... It just says there's 9 frames lost due to encoding lag, but that's not actually that much. It could vary as I go through the game. Yeah, if I do like more stuff, obviously it's going to put more of a load on things. But it's not as bad as before. It is a bit on the edge though, so I probably would want to step back even further if anything. Whoa. Oh, it's one of those projections. All right. So I guess that's it. That's about all I have I could test for now on this. So, in conclusion, what do I think about this? It's kind of annoying that, and I don't actually know how the technology works altogether, but the NVIDIA cards, they have their own kind of dedicated encoders on them. But for some reason, they still sometimes get lag on them, even just from streaming sometimes. Like, for Death Stranding, which I was just playing, for example, I have no problem running the game at 120 plus frame rate, but when streaming it, I don't know what it is about the encoder, but it starts choking and lagging, even though the game itself is more than capable of going way past 120 FPS, and the encoder should have no problem encoding that because it encodes other games just fine. But for whatever reason, it chokes up, as we just saw. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it has something to do with the engine of the game itself. I'm not, I don't actually know all that much about game engines and all that stuff. That'd just be my guess from a layman's perspective, I suppose. But it is somewhat annoying because I could check the encoder setting on my computer and it's not actually being maxed out either. So I don't know what that is that caused it. I guess I just have to take it as it comes though. And just have an idea of what the game's going to be doing ahead of time and accounting for that. You know, it still runs fine if you're doing 60 frames per second, but I would like to get a little bit higher than that because I am getting more and more used to how it looks at this point, being that I've been playing these games for about a year now at frame rates 120 and higher. I mean, it's kind of a nitpicky thing to have the luxury of doing that, but you know, you get used to what you get used at. If you watch enough games at 4K and 120, then it's what you come to expect. Suffering from success, I guess that goes back to what Nanotrite says. Oh, anyway, I should bring up Dumpling while I sign this off. I guess Cerise wasn't around, sadly. So we missed out on her, or she missed out, I suppose. Right now I can't get the thing back. Wait a second. Am I just... Oh, maybe I'm an idiot. Let me try one more thing. I know I was just going to say we're ending things, but... I want to boot that back up for a second just to test something out. Where's the game? There it is. Oh, it could be. I find that it's hard to find results for things like that, though. You could try searching online using Google or whatever. But it doesn't always bring up the results you're looking for, because you may find people had problems, but they may be caused by totally different things. Anyway, I want to see something. Because what I had the video feed with Dumpling hidden, but I didn't delete it, so I wonder if that affected it somehow. And if I don't have that up at all, if that just kind of... No, it still has encoding live. Whoa, what the hell? Slipping like a damn fool. I can look at the, exact setting this is getting. Oh, you know what this is actually hitting? It's actually hitting the CPU really hard, which I'm wondering why that is. Let me see something here. Actually, no, it's not. This is confusing. Because I use Task Manager, and it shows the, I should probably pause the game or it's going to crash the stream. Like it does when it gets too much encoder lag. So in Task Manager, it shows the CPU being pegged to 100%. In the Intel tuning utility program, it doesn't show it being that high at all. It shows it bouncing around between like 7%. Actually, it even goes down to like 2% sometimes, to 15%. But why does Task Manager show a higher amount? That's confusing. I'm trying to look at more details. Now I'm getting distracted, even though I wanted to sign off just a second ago. Let me put this over here so I can watch it. Whoop, I didn't mean to move that. And where are you? There you are. Yeah, that's weird. I'm not sure what it is, but in Task Manager, it shows my CPU being like hit all the way up to like 95 to 100%. But when I'm looking at the other thing that's measuring CPU utilization, it's really only showing it at like 2 to 17%. So I don't know why I get two completely contradicting measurements from these different things I'm using. Let me use a third program to try to get a a grasp on this. All right, let's see what these sensors say. Actually, what I want to do here is open up so I could see the one. I want to see a screen where it shows me the core usage of each one individually. All right, that should be fine. What's really weird... Wait a second. Huh. It almost is like it's... So what I'm seeing here is the core usage is being hit hard on one E core, so an efficiency core. But why is it using the efficiency core? Should be using a performance core for this. Is there a way to change that? I mean, that would make some sense if that is why it is doing that. I guess I could also just manually disable the efficiency cores and see if that has any effect on things. Can I do this in Task Manager itself? Yeah, this is something I'm not too certain of myself, Nanotrites. I think it's supposed to balance it out automatically, what goes on the efficiency and what goes on the performance cores. But I would think that a game, or the streaming of a game, would go on the performance cores, because that is a more demanding task. Also, they're not really being used from what I'm seeing. And I think that, like, one thing I could do is I could disable the efficiency cores manually in the BIOS to get around that. But ideally, I'd want to see if I could just get the program itself to specify running it on the performance core. I don't know if this is true, but there might be a way to specify it in Task Manager. If I click it here. Let's see. Yeah, so far it was only this game that seems to have that. Unless it is in the other games, I just haven't noticed it. Because I wasn't monitoring that before. I was just looking at the overall CPU usage, not the per core usage. Actually, no, I think this is the result I Googled is actually something different than I'm thinking of. Yeah, I'm kind of diving into that thing I was warning about before, where you go Googling for results and it brings up stuff that isn't always related to what you think it is. Let me go back and do it again just see if it still is on this core. Yeah, even pause, this core is at 34% usage. And I have no idea why. Why is it using the efficiency core? This is kind of the headache, I guess, of this whole Intel thing with these different cores, I suppose. Oh, maybe this is related. Nope. That's not the screen I was looking for. Let me see something here. If I just close this, let's close the game. Just want to confirm something. Okay, yeah, that was definitely the game, because now they close the game, all that load is gone from that. I think something that would work if I open up the game in administrator mode. Maybe that would fix it. Of course, I have to go and search for the game itself rather than open it up in Steam to do that. Unless, hold on, can I do it like this? I go to my Steam library. That makes it a lot more complicated. See, properties. Okay, let's see. Run this as administrator. What does it do? All right, I think this is putting it back on a performance score. That's good. It's annoying having to run everything as an administrator mode, though. It's not like an ideal solution, but I wonder if this actually does make a difference or not. Here, let me reset everything. Also, let me take out the frame rate limit that I put on. Ugh, I have to get back to the screen for that, though. Oh, now it's... Oh, probably because I restarted the thing. Let me see. Another moment. Let me quit the game and get back in. Let me just bring up the screen so I could make sure it's on the right core. Still. Where is it? I don't actually see it now. It's not actually showing what core it's using because none of them are being used particularly much. Well, we'll see when we get in the game itself. Still on 90? What happened there? Oh, whatever. Just at 90 because it was having problems at 90 anyway. Come on, game. No, now it's on an E-core again. Why? Didn't I just load as administrator? I thought I did. What a massive pain this is. Is that applied? Okay. Hopefully get the 120 now. Run as administrator. Let's see here. I think it's going on the E core. Didn't it? I got it to work once when it went on the P core, it seemed. I'm just getting to the game itself just to confirm, but I think it is. So annoying. Yeah, E core usage is peaking. Makes literally no sense. I probably should run the other games just to see what that does with the core distribution. So what were we playing before? We had done Hitman, but that's on the other thing. Well, I had done 7 Days to Die as well. Let's try that. Let's see what core is getting hit. Probably should wait to the game itself. I think it's on the P cores because there's a couple of them going up to 27, 10. And that's during loading. I'm assuming the game itself will be even higher. P core 2 is at 21. All right. And in the game itself, nothing's actually being used that highly. Yeah, actually, the load on the course was higher during the loading than in the game itself. There's one P core at like 1.5% now, and it went back down. All right, so I don't know exactly what it is. Now one's at 3%. That was like the highest I've seen of that. Okay. I'll check out Hitman 2 just out of curiosity. Or Hitman 3 as well. Ugh. Just want to play Hitman. Let's see these stupid results. Not that I've noticed nanotrites. It could be that it's only really apparent when you're trying to stream the game. Like that puts more load on it for some reason. Though I honestly don't know why that would be. Again, alright, so all the load on this game is on P core number 3 currently. Even before I get into, oh, you know what, the game's not even showing in OBS right now. That's because I still have Afterburner open. and it never loads in with Afterburner. But just from this, I can see the game's whole load is on the performance course like it's supposed to be. I'll even just load in the game. I don't actually need to show it in OBS for this. But I mean, it could have been happening before, I just didn't really notice it. Alright. Let me try this again with Death Stranding. Seems to be just unique to this one game in particular. Actually, let me check out the properties of this game. Is there anything to change here that could be having an effect on it? Perhaps there is some way of doing this, but I wish there was some setting to specifically run it on a certain core. Now try says, I was going to say maybe Denuvo's doing something, but that got removed from Death Stranding a while ago. I don't know. You could have something there. I don't know if that was like a problem at one point. Alright, well I'm loading it now, and it seems like the load is on the P core so far. It could change when I get into the actual game itself, but let's see. I at least want to load the game and see what happens. Could be some kind of bug with Windows task scheduling still, I suppose. I don't think most of those things would be fixed, but perhaps some isn't. Alright, well, interestingly enough, I'm in the game itself, and it's still dropping the... I'm still getting the message about the lag. And it does seem to be on the appropriate core now. Because now all the load is on P core 4 instead of the E core. It may be, though, that right now the encoder lag isn't as bad as it was before. Oh, jeez. Now I'm checking the video and it looks like it is just as bad. But the numbers seem to be less than it was when I looked at it last time. At least I thought they were from first glance. Alright, now I have it paused and it finally settled down. It's very odd. I'm not really sure what to say about this. I thought maybe I had a grasp on it and was about to solve it, but doesn't seem to be the case after all. And you know, it is getting late now. I went way past my time trying to figure out what this issue was. It's actually way worse than before. Wow. See, I didn't actually watch it on the stream before. I just saw that in OBS was showing up all the showing all the problems. So that's even weirder to me that it's somehow worse. And it's strange, right? Because the 13700 has 8 performance cores, 8 of the efficiency cores. And I'm just playing this game, and I'm not even using the processor for the video encoding. I'm using the NVENC for that. So why the hell is the processor having issues with this? I just kind of shrug at this point. And even right now, for some reason, it is having a bit of a problem. I'm absolutely kind of befuddled. well, I think I'm going to call it a night here. I was hoping I'd make some progress in solving this. But, I mean, the thing is, I'm not even really trying to play this game anyway, at the current moment. So, it's just something to figure out for another day. And yeah, it's still the whole slideshow effect, isn't it? Alright. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, Nanotrites. And anyone else who may have stuck around. I know that Vertigo was here earlier. Not sure you're still around, but Vertigo, thank you as well. Anyone else who tried to keep me company and give me advice as we tried to sort this out. I wish I had something else to really say about all this, but I guess the only good thing is it seems to be limited to this game for now, and I have other things I can mess with that don't seem to be having any problems like this. So that's the bright side. I can figure this out later. You guys all have a good night, or a good day, because it's practically day for you, I guess, at this point, Nanotrites. And I'll talk to you all next time. Farewell.